Hello everyone, this is 10X Generation and this is my road to $1 billion. It's late right now. I've been programming all day. I have achieved the state in which I was seeking. I have made a whole lot of really cool projects in my past and done a lot of things, and I've programmed apps, taught myself how to make apps, taught myself how to do circuitry, build all this stuff, right? And it was in this state in which I was able to do it, where my body, soul, and mind and emotions, whatever, was all in alignment, right? I didn't have to force myself to sit down and program. I just felt like programming, and my mind was focused on programming. And what I needed to do in that moment was program, or whatever else I was doing. And I got so much done during those times. I have been lacking this state for a while. I've just been forcing and using determination and discipline to get myself on track. But with discipline comes failure. You force yourself and then you waver in your discipline. It becomes a little difficult. But what I've been trying to achieve was this state, and I was able to achieve it based off of the thing that I was talking about yesterday. And it absolutely works. It absolutely works. Being able to be in a state where you're not operating based off of discipline, we're operating pretty much based off of pure directed emotion. I have directed my emotions and all of my drive to the thing that I wanted to. I manipulated myself by pressuring myself in different ways and asking for this guidance and stuff. So it's really cool. I really enjoy this. I've been programmed literally like eight hours. 8 hours. I woke up, I started programming. I didn't eat breakfast. I did some exercise. Always got to do the exercise. For lunch, I had sardines and crackers. And then dinner, I had some Chipotle. But every other moment in between, I was programming. I also watched a movie with the family. But every other moment, I was programming. I didn't have to worry about social media. I didn't have to turn off my phone. I didn't have to do any of that. Program. All I wanted to do was program. All I wanted to do was build. It's very effective. It's super effective. I get so much done, and I love it. In other news, I'm gonna definitely get a car. This moped is becoming a bigger and bigger headache. It's so slow, and I can't go anywhere. In my previous videos, I talk about, oh, it's such a smart choice to get a moped. Maybe if you're in the city, maybe it makes sense, but I'm in the suburbs, and a lot of events are in the city. I gotta go all the way out to the city, and you can't even take a moped on the highway. So I'm not even able to use that for that. And even if I could, it would be very dangerous to go on the highway with a moped motorcycle thing. So I should have just listened to my dad. My dad was correct. I should have just bought a car. And I was looking at the prices. It's really not that bad, especially now that I have an income. It's really not that bad. $500 a month, maybe $150 for insurance, probably about $50 for gas. We're good. We're golden, right? I don't know how much gas is. Maybe 50. I don't know. Let's just say 100, right? So $750 a month for the car in totality. That's not bad. That's not bad. And also considering the fact that, oh, this is another change in perspective that I had. I was saying that the car is expensive, right? And it really doesn't make sense for me to get a car because my income is not tied to that car, right? Whether or not I have a car, I'm going to be making the same amount of money. It's not an investment. I always want to buy investments. I don't want to buy a bill. But because there are certain opportunities that I'm losing out on because I don't have a car, if I take a different approach and say, okay, I'm going to buy this car, but I have to make sure or make a significant effort so that every month I extract $750 at least from that car. So I go to events that enrich my mind. I talk with people, build those connections, do some marketing, maybe go do some interviews, events, market research, whatever, workshops, whatever I need to do to go ahead and get that $750 back. And it doesn't have to be in money. It can be in information. It can be in really mostly just information. and maybe customers or whatever, but I want to get that money back. So in that way, I think the car can be worth it if I am able to continuously do that. The second thing, or the third thing that I wanted to talk about was employment. So I am working on this, and I recognize that I'm going very slow. I'm working on it diligently, but I understand that I'm going slow simply because it's a language that I'm not super familiar with, right? So I'm kind of having to relearn the language, the programming language, and teach myself again. But I understand that there's people who are very adept in this language. I'm thinking about hiring somebody. I was talking about yesterday about the talents of people, and I have talents. I have talents, meaning I have resources that can help accelerate this process, i.e. money, i.e. hiring somebody to do the stuff that I am not super effective at. But I have a block. I can feel that this is approaching a comfortability wall. As a developer, as a programmer, lifelong programmer and developer, I realize that I don't want to give up those two things. What are those two things? Those two things are control, right? If I hire somebody to build something for me, if I want it modified, if I want it changed, if I want it done differently, I have to first go through that person. I have to say, okay, I want this done. Can you do it for me? I know I hired you for this purpose, but can you do it for me? It relinquishes a bit of control for speed, right? That's number one. And number two, it also gives up my ability of full understanding. If I don't build everything that's in it, of course, 100% all of it I didn't build, but by doing most of the building myself, it keeps that understanding. I understand how it works. I know what it is, right? If I hire somebody, I only, a lot of it is obscured, right? And I only know the high levels of it. Both those things make me a little uncomfortable. Also, the fact that you have to deal with people. People are a lot more complicated and more difficult than computers. It's easier to program a computer, harder to deal with humans and employees, and especially with employment, right? Because I got to pay this person, give benefits and weekly meetings or daily meetings. I want to do if we're going to do this, it's going to be daily meetings. So I'm trying to really wrap my head around exactly if I'm going to do this, should I do this, and how can I do this? No, not how can I know how, but how should I do it, pretty much. It's a little different. It's an interesting thought, but I have time to think about it, and I don't want to rush into a bad decision, but I also don't want to waste a whole lot of time. Likely what I'm going to do is continue going on where I'm going, building out the skeleton of it. The skeleton. I want to build out the skeleton and then hire somebody to, do the different layers, to build the rest of it out and optimize it. Because optimizing, that's a rabbit hole. But building the general structure, the skeleton, that one, you can kind of learn if you are diligent enough. You can learn in a couple weeks, if you're diligent enough. But anyway, yeah, so that's my plan. We're moving up. We're moving up. We're moving fast. We're moving fast. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you find this either relatable or inspiring, or you learn something from it, you can go ahead and like and subscribe. I do this every single day. And this is just my journey to $1 billion. I plan to become a billionaire in assets, meaning I own, operate a billion-dollar company where we serve millions around the world. And this is my journey, my log of that. So, yeah, if you're enjoying, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.